Hey everyone, good to see you this Tuesday morning for Bible Teaching Tuesday. This coming Sunday, as I mentioned yesterday, is our All Saints celebration. The goal of that day is to remember the faithful departed, those who have gone before us in the faith into God's near presence and now await the resurrection of the body and the life everlasting. And it's customary for churches then to read the names of those who have passed into God's near presence over the past year, maybe ring a bell in their honor and remember them. And it can be sad because these deaths are fresh in our minds. At most, we've had 12 months to begin to heal. But what I've learned about death over the years, even though as a younger pastor, I presided over many funerals and tried to bring comfort to those families in their time of loss. It's only in the past couple of years, I think, that I've even begun to understand the reality of death. Now, I don't think that means the words I spoke in those moments were not comforting. They were comforting not because they were my words or I understood the reality of death, but because they're God's words to be spoken in the face of death and to give us hope in the midst of that. So that's fine. But I have a richer and deeper understanding of the things I'm saying and how they might be heard. And I'm sure I'm just beginning to understand this. And I guess the whole point of this diatribe, if you're listening, I'm sorry, is to say that what I've learned about death is it's not something you get over. It's not something you get used to. The pain we feel of loss might seemingly decrease over time as we become accustomed to someone's absence who we loved and cared for. The grief process does have stages, and hopefully we cope better as time goes on. But nothing will ever fill that void or that hole of not having someone here with us who once was, who we cared for and loved. It's not something we ever truly get over. So I think All Saints Day is important. I think it's a day that can stir up some grief, but I also think it's an important day because it reminds us of our mortality. That bell will one day ring for us, but it also reminds us of our great hope. What are we celebrating on All Saints Day? We're celebrating the reality that our loved ones are with Jesus, right? So the epistle reading, which is always what we look at on Tuesdays, is from 1 John 3. I believe this is 1 John 3:2 on your screen here. And I actually used this past week in the sermon as a verse. I didn't realize it was coming up. I mean, they're the same every year, but I kind of forgot. But it worked nicely with the Reformation message yesterday about the fact that we're not yet now what we will be. Okay, we're a work in progress. It's important to be reminded of that on All Saints Day as well. So here's the verse: Beloved, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet appeared. Resurrected bodies, perfectly righteous, right? That's not happening until the last day. And that's what the second part of the verse says. But we know that when he appears, when he comes again, when he returns to judge the living and the dead, when he separates the sheep from the goats, when he seats us at God's right hand and places upon our head the crown of righteousness, then we shall be like him and we shall see him as he is. Now, I'm not really sure about what that last part means. We shall see him as he is. Maybe like Peter, James, and John saw him in all his glory, transfigured on the Mount of Transfiguration that day. They beheld his glory, it says. Not sure, but there's going to be a newer and fuller way that we know Jesus that extends beyond what we do right now. Okay. There's a greater day of hope to come. And that's the message of Christianity, basically, for every day of this life. Why in the world would you follow Jesus in the world today? It's not going to get you any brownie points with those in the world. It's going to invite hardship and adversity between friends and family. More now than ever in my lifetime, of course, there's decisions that need to be made about morality and what we will support and what we won't. And if you land on the wrong side of that equation, they're going to think something's wrong with you. You might even think something's wrong with you. Why would you endure all that? What's the point of it all? The point of it all is because one day when he appears, we will be like him and we shall see him as he is. It's the whole reason for hanging on to faith in this world. is to cling to the promises in Jesus for us on the last day. So Pastor Roland's got the message this coming week. He'll give you a little preview of that on Thursday. He'll also bring you words of wisdom Wednesday tomorrow. But I just want to say I look forward to seeing you in worship on this solemn day, and I hope that you'll come celebrate with us, all the saints who have gone before us, and celebrate the reality that they see Jesus now face to face. God's peace.